But they got a lot going for it, and I think it's gonna have a really great future. If it comes out in 2025, I'm not gonna be upset. I just wonder, like, I'll have a better idea as to when they're gonna release 1.0, when we kind of see what their velocity in development is after this next update, which they were originally targeting to have at the Game Awards. They were planning on shadow dropping the big update and announcing it at the Game Awards, but I think essentially they were like, well, a couple things have changed behind the scenes. And when, we're gonna hold off for now. And I was like, oh, it makes sense. So it might, the big update might happen in December. It might happen in January, but it's getting really close, and it's gonna be a fun time for sure.
Do you feel like it's a big contender for 2025 or 2026 whenever it releases?
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing that would knock against it, obviously, is like early access. It's kind of like maybe people are like, oh yeah, I've played that. But it's going to be like, when does it come out? Because again, we know that typically games that come out in the first part of the year struggle to get nominations in the back half of the year, Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some honorable mentions.
Yes.
That didn't make this category just because it's so stacked. RPG is this year.
I know.
But I remember Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Great
game. Big impression on you at the beginning of the year.
Great game. The fact that you can beat it in 10 hours for the main story, and then they have like another kind of add-on. Like, as a dad, I was like, this is great. Yeah. I actually have it I bought it on 2 platforms, on PlayStation and on PC. And it makes me hopeful for the future of Monster Hunter. Like, Monster Hunter Worlds was frustrating on a multiplayer perspective. Jumping into a multiplayer on this game was so easy, but it's set up in that multiplayer, Monster Hunter mindset. So I'm hoping that with Monster Hunter Wilds that we've seen them learn, a couple of cool, things from that category.
Yeah. But I mean, so this one for you, would you put it over any of the games that made it, or it's just kind of an honorable mention?
Being that I haven't played Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and I know you love it, like that would be the one that I would swap out.
Coming straight with the dagger.
Coming for you.
All
man.
right,
coming for
that's
you.
That's fine. And then another one though that we both enjoyed, because I didn't have the opportunity to play Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, was Visions of Mana. Just a delightful little game.
I love the art style.
Game. I can't not smile when I'm playing this game. Like, it's just so lighthearted, and I don't know, it just feels like very uplifting, very wholesome. I do think it has something to do with the color palette and the lighting and such. Yeah. But the characters, they're all like just pretty delightful and unassuming, mild-mannered, or whatever the right word is. Like, it's hard to hate any of these characters. The story's interesting. The world is just a great place to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like kind of like kiddie Final Fantasy, or like almost like a Zelda-fied Final Fantasy to a certain degree, like in the vein of like a Genshin Impact or something.
Yeah.
And I love the vibe. Like, I love what they've done with the Mana series to kind of differentiate it from Final Fantasy and their other major IPs. And like, this is one that I really enjoyed, and I'm surprised when I looked at, because I was like, oh, it's not nominated for anything. I looked at where it landed, like as far as review averages, and it's like down to like 75, which I was really surprised about, because I really enjoyed this one. I had a good time with it.